Hi and welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome. How to be a nurse in New Zealand. Here are the changes. All right. If you are not aware, the International Qualified Nurse step-by-step process. So it starts with verifying your documents with CGFNS and applying to Nursing Council to become a registered nurse in New Zealand. And there has been changes since December last year. And I have tried to create a live video about this topic. However, the internet connection is not really that good. And it's just difficult to schedule like producing videos and editing in the middle of life at the moment. So here we are. Gabi na, pero magvi-video tayo. Okay. So again, if you're not familiar, in order to become a registered nurse in New Zealand, please check the Nursing Council website. Videos like this are just complimentary or even supplemental information, really. So your best bet is to check, go on the internet and check Nursing Council New Zealand website. Okay, I'll leave the link to the comment section below, so check that out. And of course, you will have heard of CGFNS. So that is a third-party company which verifies your documents. They go through the process, I guess, of making sure that you are who you say you are. And if you have applied in United States anyway, you would have been familiar of this company. But if not, I have a full playlist. Have a look at how to NZRN Q&A. Those are just like 1 minute video. If you want quick information, do check it out. Obviously, link below for more details. And common questions that I get in the past. So what if I already applied with CGFNS, say in 2017 or 2018? Can I still use that account to apply for New Zealand? And I guess just make sure that you are applying for CGFNS New Zealand, because CGFNS USA is different from CGFNS New Zealand. In fact, New Zealand only started using CGFNS, their services anyway, since October 2019. So before that, there was no CGFNS in the process of the application. So most especially if you have an account like before October 2019 with CGFNS, then it's highly likely that you've created that account for a US application. So you would have to create an account with CGFNS New Zealand. And what usually happen is, I think if you already have like an account with CGFNS USA, they can, in some instances, maybe merge your documents and stuff like that. But from the people that I've talked to in the past, they still definitely had to create a CGFNS NZ account, and they still had to provide some documents. So I guess just be aware of that. And then the other question that I get a lot is there an age limit for nurses wanting to become a registered nurse in New Zealand? So there's no age limit as such. However, if you want to apply for, say, residency or citizenship, then that's totally different. Depending on what stream you're applying, there may be some age criteria for that. However, to become a registered nurse in New Zealand, if you already have your license in your home country, there's no age limit as such. All right? Covered that bit. And obviously, disclaimer, I am not a recruitment agency. I do not, or any other third-party company. I am just a registered nurse who hasn't slept yet. I have work tomorrow. It's an extra shift. Ganun talaga pag maraming bayarin. Ang bayarin is based on like ilang pick-up shift ang magagawa mo. So yeah, I am just a registered nurse. If you don't know my story, I am a registered nurse from the Philippines. I moved to New Zealand 11 years ago, and now I am living in Australia. So we've been living in Australia for maybe 2 years this March, going on 2 years this March. But I do vlog about life in Australia and how to become a registered nurse in Australia and New Zealand, because it's connected somehow. But yeah, this is my disclaimer. And if you are currently applying as a registered nurse in New Zealand, you want to share your experience of how frustrating it can be, write it down in the comment section below, or by all means, share the experience. We actually have a Tagalog group chat. It's just a Discord channel, really. You're more than welcome to join. Otherwise, we also have a Facebook group, so join the fun. All right, depending on how much time I will have I cannot promise anything, huh? Depending on the time I will try and edit like photos in the post-edit about Nursing Council of New Zealand website. However, if not, I'll just upload this video first and then maybe I'll cut it into parts and upload pieces with my usual visual presentation. But like I've mentioned before, guys, putting these videos together, it does take a lot of time, and at the moment I don't have that time on hand, but here I am just delivering these updates for you. Okay, so number one, go to Nursing Council of New Zealand website. There will be tabs there. Go to I want to be a nurse in NZ, and then registration for international nurses, and that is pretty straightforward. It will tell you the steps. So IQN, step-by-step process. So that's you, internationally qualified nurse, you who is a registered nurse in your home country, who passed your board exam, who has your registration license. That's you, IQN. And then the step-by-step process. So just to begin with, if you are a nurse with a current practicing certificate in Australia, then the application process is totally different. It's because of the Trans-Tasman system, wherein if you have a registered nurse license in New Zealand, you can I convert that into Australian license and vice versa. And the process is much simpler compared to other overseas nurses. So it's just the strong relationship between the two countries. That's why, in a way, I kind of feel like a sister country, but not really. But anyway, so just know that if you are a nurse with an Australian registered nurse license, the application to become registered nurse in New Zealand is a lot simpler. I have a video about that if you are interested. It's just called How to Be a Registered Nurse from Australia to New Zealand via Trans-Tasman. But otherwise, for all other countries, so there are two step-by-step process. Number one is to get your documents verified with CGFNS. Number two, to apply to Nursing Council of New Zealand to become registered. So here are, I guess, the updates. So because this is just a summary, I won't really go into detail, but for the documents that you need to provide, you'll have to provide proof of your identity, your employment history, your education history, your license validation, and an English language test. So what's new? So in terms of the years of experience, you must provide a declaration to CGFNS that you have practiced nursing for at least 1,800 hours. So I think this is lesser compared to 2,500 hours previously. And then for the language proficiency, if you haven't heard already, for OET, you must achieve a minimum score of 350 for reading, listening, and speaking, and a minimum score of 300 for writing. And then for IELTS academic, you must achieve a minimum score of 7 for reading, listening, and speaking, and a minimum score of 6.5 for writing. So that, again, is a change because in the past, it was just like 7 overall. And then same thing with OET, it was just like 350 overall. But now they have decreased the writing component of the English exam. So for OET, 350 for the rest, but for writing 300. And then for IELTS, it has to be the academic module. 7 for reading, listening, and speaking, but a minimum of 6.5 score for writing. And then out of the applicants that I've managed to talk to and ask, sometimes I ask for poll questions as well, they did mention that it is still quite challenging to meet the English criteria, and among, I guess, the requirements, that's the hardest for them to complete. So anyway, if you have tips for other applicants, how did you pass your English test? Share it in the link below. Do you have any free resources you want to share for OET or IELTS academic? Or I don't know, do you have like a favorite YouTuber you follow in terms of like research tips? English language tips, then please share it as well. So for the number 2 step, applying to the Nursing Council to become registered nurse. So once all of your documents have been submitted to CGFNS, may buhok ba yan? They will verify your documents. There's forms that needs to be submitted. I have covered it in my lots and lots of videos about CGFNS. Honestly, it's a lot. You will get a report from CGFNS, and then you get to review the summary before it gets submitted to the Nursing Council of New Zealand. And then you'll just tell CGFNS, yes, I'm happy for this report to be forwarded to Nursing Council of New Zealand. And then that's that. And then you will get an email from Nursing Council of New Zealand, and then they will just say, dear so-and-so name, we have received your report and documents from CGFNS and would now like to invite you to apply for registration with us. Please follow the instruction below to log into the MyIQN portal to begin your application. MyIQN is the online applicant portal where you can submit and track your application and also contact us and provide additional documents if required. So what's new in this step? So before kasi, once you are in that application, the Nursing Council will make a recommendation if you need to do a competence assessment program. However, now all applicants are required to complete 2 free online courses to introduce you to culturally safe nursing practice in New Zealand. These are all e-learnings, and then all applicants need to complete this. And then after that, Nursing Council New Zealand will review your application and decide if you need to complete a competence assessment. So that competence assessment will include a theoretical exam online to test your knowledge and is taken overseas or in New Zealand at a Nursing Council accredited exam center. And OSCE, 2-day orientation and preparation program followed by a 3-hour OSCE exam. This is taken in person in New Zealand at an accredited examination center. So it's pretty much similar if you have been researching, on how to be a nurse in UK. So it's pretty similar in the sense that you have a CBT, computer-based test, and then you have an OSCE that you have to do in UK So it's pretty similar in that sense. And I just want to actually have a quick look at Nursing Council website because I closed it unintentionally. Because someone asked about nurses who are currently working in Singapore, because in the past, if you are an SGRN, they didn't really have to complete a competence assessment program. They were given the option to enroll directly to the council, provided that all of their documents are okay and they have the English test and stuff like that. So let me just see if I can still find it here. So if you actually go to the website and you go to the internationally qualified nursing documents and you want to know more about the requirements, so there's a section there about competence to practice. So it tells you that you must be able to demonstrate that you are competent to practice in New Zealand. The council may require a nurse who is registered overseas to complete a competence assessment before they are granted New Zealand registration. If you hold current registration in the UK, Ireland, Ontario, British Columbia, Singapore, or USA, your application will be assessed by the council and you may not be required to undertake the below examination. However, just know that this is on a case-to-case basis, and I have there are several nurses who have asked me before, they have a USRN license. Is it enough to be exempted with the competence assessment recommendation? And the answer has always been if you've practiced in US as well, because I know there are some nurses who have the license but not necessarily work there as a nurse, I guess. So at the end of the day, it is the Nursing Council's decision or recommendation whether or not you need to go through the competence assessment that they need you to do. But in my experience, in the past at least, from what other nurses have told me, if they have a Singapore nurse license, for example, and they were working in Singapore, then they didn't really need to do the CAP program at all. And even with the changes with the theoretical exam online and the OSCE, it looks like, looking at the website lang, looking at the website lang, hindi naman ako nag-desisyon nito. Looking at the website, it seems like it will follow the previous process, if you know what I mean. And then the last thing is just a usual part of the application is the fitness to practice check. criminal history check by Fit to Work, and this is an external company. Alright, by the way, if you are enjoying this video, then please make sure to hit like and subscribe. And as always, you can buy me a coffee to support the channel. Really appreciate that. The link is www.buymeacoffee.com/binibiningver. Thank you so much to the 3 people who supported my pagagawa ko dito sa YouTube. Anyway, so there is a transition phase. It just means that for those applicants, let me read the actual passage from the Nursing Council website. There is a transition phase for registered nurses who applied to the council before December 4, 2023. You may be required to complete a competence assessment program. The council is developing a dedicated pathway to registration for enrolled nurses. And until that is in place, ENs can continue to apply under the existing competence assessment system. There will be a transition phase where the Nursing Council runs both the existing systems of competence assessment programs and the competence examination process. It is anticipated this transition will last through 2024 and into 2025. To find out more about the process, you'll have to go to the Nursing Council website. So what does it mean? So, if you applied to Nursing Council, if they have received your CGFNS report before December 4, 2023, then it is likely that you will have to complete competence assessment program. And if this is the first time you are hearing about this and Nursing Council told you that you'll have to do CAP, then please check out my other videos. I also shared my personal experience about the competence assessment program. But otherwise, for all other new applicants who are starting their nursing to New Zealand journey this year, then obviously you'll have to follow the new process, which includes the 2 online e-learning, including the computer-based test, and then the OSCE. And obviously you have to provide that you meet the requirements of Nursing Council. So that's the clinical hours of experience, your bachelor's degree, and the English language test. Alright, question of the day. What do you think about these changes? Is it a yay, a nay? Let me know in the comment section below. And would you like to see more videos just like this one? Just you, me talking? Let me know.